my Bible study leader, she invited me to Fall Getaway, and I initially wasn't going to go because one of money, and then also just I wasn't going to know a lot of people at all, and I was afraid of that. I went anyway, and it ended up being the first time that for a long time I didn't really know anybody who really was overtly a Christian, and I didn't know how to live it out or anything the way that a lot of people had been doing. It was incredible to me that this kind of fellowship and community was real, and so that was one aspect of Fall Getaway that was just incredible. Everyone was so welcoming, and it was the first time that I had known Christian men and women, men who took care of their sisters and took care of us and cared for us in a way that made me want to serve them. And in the same way, women were so real and not the way that I had seen in high school. I remember it was a Saturday night that we were there. It was extended worship, and some people had put together a skit. It's a pretty popular skit. It's the Lifehouse, Everything's Drama, and I mean I'd seen it before that, but seeing it brought to life, I realized that I was this girl who was struggling so hard with the world and finding satisfaction in all these things that weren't satisfying at all. I accepted Christ that day. I understood that Jesus had died for me, and that I was sinful, but that he restored me and redeemed me and freed me of all of that by dying on the cross for my sins. And I knew that God loved me and knew that these lives that I was seeing lived out for Jesus, that I could live that too. And so I wanted that. And I remember exactly what happened. I remember what song we were singing, and I remember what I was wearing, who I was sitting next to, what I did before and after, and I just remember feeling so much joy for the first time in my life. And it was something that really was, I felt like it was an overnight transformation of my life. And I mean, it's still a process, and it's always going to be a process, but I saw what rejoicing in everything meant for the first time, and it was amazing. And if I hadn't gone to Fall Getaway, that never would have happened. I probably would not be talking to you right now. I probably wouldn't be telling you about my life, and I wouldn't be a worship leader, and I wouldn't be living the way that I am now. And I remember afterwards just feeling so much like I wanted to talk to everyone about Jesus, whether they were Christians or not. And I remember going out to laying under the stars with a lot of the girls from Chadbourne, and we talked about Jesus, and I talked about Jesus openly for the first time, about what I thought of him rather than what the Bible said, which is what I didn't know how to talk about. I didn't know how to talk about Jesus in that way. And so I remember we were all praying, and for the first time I was able to pray out loud, which scared the heck out of me before that. And I realized that praying wasn't just a thing, that it was talking to God like you would talk to anyone else, except for you're just not talking to anyone else. You're talking to the creator of the universe, who wants to hear you. And that's what happened. And I remember coming back to campus feeling so thrilled to come back and talk to people who didn't love God. I wanted to proclaim his name and just love him and live for him.